Right, hello everyone, and welcome to Top Warren's Team Talk. Sorry about the delay and getting here. I was getting the show ready and I forgot what the time was. So sorry about that. I'm about 15 minutes late, I know. So I'm really, really sorry. But let me just get this in because we need to have a quick look at this. So, yeah, won't be a sec. I hope everyone's okay anyway and that you're doing well and you're all staying safe and healthy and that you've had a great day so far. Please don't forget to put a like on the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to share the content around. That would be absolutely fantastic if you could do that. We've got a chat here. Taib's in the chat. Hi, Warren, he says. Hi, Taib. Hope you well, sir. And he also says, City have the title in the bag. No manager in this league currently can compete with them. That's 100% true, mate. They're 13 points clear or something ridiculous now, aren't they? So we'll see what happens during the course of the afternoon. Some big games today in the Premier League, so we'll see what happens. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on with it. So today's games are Newcastle against Watford, Norwich against Everton, and Wolverhampton Wanderers against Southampton. And also, I just want to share the screen for something else as well. Let's look at that. Right, I'm going to look at that with you. The games are kicked off, but don't worry, I'm going to go through the lineups in a sec. I just want to look at tomorrow. Yeah, the game between Tottenham and Arsenal tomorrow has been cancelled, postponed, I should say. So there you go. I think that's probably because of the fact that the Arsenal have claimed that they haven't got enough players to fulfill the fixture, which I find a bit odd. But I just get really, I just don't like bullshit, to be quite honest. But there you go. We'll talk about that another time. So let's have a look at the lineups for today and the formations and stuff. So this is the Premier League. This is the Premier League table, and Man City are now sitting 13 points clear at the top. They've only dropped They've only dropped 10 points all season, so it's pretty amazing, really. Chelsea are in second, Liverpool third, West Ham are in fourth, Arsenal in fifth, Tottenham in sixth. If West Ham win tomorrow, they will move 5 points clear of Arsenal. James Dunlop's in the chat. James, hi mate, hope you're well. I'm good, mate. It is off. Not sure why, really, but still, there you go. I think the major reason is because our club's completely incompetent and couldn't manage a piss up in a brewery, to be quite frank. I mean, this is all down to the fact that they've allowed Ainsley Maitland-Niles to go out on loan and not get a replacement, and other players are out on loan as well, particularly in midfield. And that's what it's all about. It's got nothing to do with COVID or anything. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, so that's the league table there. I think Newcastle, the signing of that Chris Wood fella from Burnley, that was an absolute tactical masterpiece by Newcastle, because in a stroke, They've strengthened their squad and weakened Burnley's, and they're both in a relegation dogfight. So, that's what happens when you get a proper manager in charge, isn't it? So the Newcastle and Watford lineups, there we go. And Chris Wood has gone straight into the Newcastle starting lineup. The team for Newcastle is Martin Dubravka, Kieran Trippier, Jamal Lascelles, Fabian Schär, Paul Dummett, John Joe Shelby, Sean Longstaff, Joe Linton, Ryan Fraser, Alan St. Maximin and Chris Wood. The Watford lineup is Foster, Nakakia, King, João Pedro, Kamara, Cathcart, Sissoko, Samir, Dennis, Kutka, and Kiembe. And the lineups, Newcastle have gone for a 4-5-1, Wood up front on his own, behind a midfield five. And Watford have gone for a 4-3-3. And so there you go. Please put your comments in about what your score predictions are for these games. The Norwich lineup is a Norwich Everton game. Norwich are going for a 4-4-2 formation. And they've got Krul in goal. A back four of Williams, Gibson, Hanley and Aarons. And then the midfield, they're going with Sorensen, Lise Malloy, is it Pashka or Rashka, Sargent, Pookie and Idia. And then Everton are going with Pickford, Coleman, Keane, Godfrey, Mykolenko, Doucouré, Gomez, Gray, Gordon, Rondon and Calvert-Lewin. And then they have Norwich, like I say, they're going for a 4-2-3-1. Well, that's what it says there on the BBC. The Norwich lineup from the club looks a little bit different. Not that the personnel are different, but just the way they've lined them up. But still, there you go. And Everton are going for a 4-4-2 formation. Be curious to hear what you think about these lineups and what your score predictions are for the games. And now we move on to Wolverhampton Wanderers against Southampton. Wolves' lineup is Jose Sarr, Ryan and Nure, Raul Jimenez, Daniel Podence, Francisco Trinico, Connor Cody, Nelson Semedo, Maximilian Kilman, Totti Gomez, Jan Martino, and Leander Dendonkia. And Southampton have gone with Fraser Forster, Jan Bednarek, Lanko, Mohamed Salisu, Nathan Teller, Oriol Romeo, James Ward-Prowse, Ibrahima Diallo, Romian Perraud, Nathan Redmond, and Armando Broca. I like that Armando Broca, I have to say. I think he's decent. I really like him. I think he's big, he's strong, and I think he's got a big future ahead of him. And then Wolves are going for a 3-4-3 formation, and Southampton are going for a 3-5-2. So, yeah. So my predictions for these games as of this afternoon. Let's see what the games are again. So the three games, Newcastle against Watford. I think Newcastle are going to edge this 2-1. Norwich against Everton. I think Everton will win 2-1. And Wolves against Southampton. I think that one will be a 1-0 win for Wolves. So, but what does everyone else think? How do you see these games panning out? Yeah, let me know. I'll be really interested to hear what you think. Anyway, so let's get back to it and see what's going on with any action. Minimize that. Let's make it a bit easier then to handle. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And get rid of that. And let's get this one. Right, okay. So let's see if there's been any goals while we've been away. So, 10 minutes gone in all the games, and it's still goalless in all 3 games. So nothing really major has been happening. But let's... What the hell is going on? Right, I'm going to remove these because this is a mess. Right, that's better. Now I know what's going on. Right, so let's leave it. Let's leave it like that. And what we'll do now is we'll do this and this one. Right, there we go. That's better. Right, so let's see the match stats so far. So Newcastle look like they've made a really good start. They've got 65% possession against Watford's 35. They've had 2 shots, but Watford have had 3. And neither side's had any shots on target so far. So that's interesting. And let's go down to Carrow Road now and see what's going on there. So look at that. Norwich have been very strong so far. They've got 70% possession as opposed to Norwich's 30%. They've had 2 shots on target, and Everton have had 1, and neither side's had a shot on target yet. So there you go. Let's get back and let's go to Molineux now and see what's going on there. 11 minutes gone in that game. Wolves have had 43% possession and Southampton 57%. Don't forget, Wolves have been very solid of late. They've not really conceded that many, if at all. And Southampton are scoring quite a few goals at the moment. So this should be a really interesting battle for me. I'm really looking forward to this. Neither side has had a shot yet. And obviously no shots on target. So there you go. Southampton have had 6 corners and Wolves had none. So there you go. That's quite interesting, isn't it? I guess. So, yeah, and the big news today, there's 2 big pieces of news. Manchester City have beaten Chelsea by 1-0. They're now 13 points clear at the top of the table. And they're looking like they're unassailable, to be quite honest. And it looks like to me that it's their title to lose. But let's have a quick look at the Premier League table again. Yeah, Liverpool have got 2 games in hand on Manchester City. If they win both those games, that will take them up to 48 points. They'll be 8 points behind Manchester City. And Liverpool now are 1 point behind Chelsea with a game in hand. 2 games in hand. So you'd think that they'd be able to catch them. West Ham are in 4th. They have 37 points. 1 game in hand on 3rd place Liverpool. Liverpool have got one game in hand on West Ham, I should say. And West Ham have got one game in hand on second place Chelsea. If they win that game, they will be only 3 points behind Chelsea. Arsenal are in fifth, and they're 2 points behind fourth place West Ham. If they win their game in hand, Arsenal, they will be 1 point ahead of West Ham. So it's getting really tight. It's nip and tuck at the top of the table, as they say. Tottenham, though, are in the strongest position if you could take games in hand are your thing. Tottenham have 2 games in hand on Arsenal, 3 on West Ham, and 4 on Chelsea and Manchester City, and 2 on Liverpool. If Tottenham win their 4 games in hand, that will give them 12 points, and they will give them 12 points from those 4 games, and that will put them on 45. That will put them into second in the table. So Antonio Conte certainly seems to be pulling that club around and moving them in the right direction. The big question, though, has to be whether Tottenham are going to be able to hold on to him, because the big fear is, from what I was hearing over the last couple of days, is if he doesn't get backed in the transfer market, he's going to walk. Arsenal and Spurs as well. Today they've had their Premier League has agreed to postpone Arsenal's game at Tottenham because of Arsenal are claiming they don't have enough players to fulfill the fixture. So, yeah, it's big news. Manchester United are sat 7th, 3 points, 2 points behind 6th place Tottenham, and they are 4 points behind 5th place Arsenal and 6 points behind West Ham. So, yeah, it's all really hotting up there at the top of the table. So let's see what's going on in these games. And there's been a goal already. Oh, my God, here we go. And Norwich have taken an early lead. It's Norwich 1, Everton 0. Let's see who got that goal. It's been scored by Keane, and it was an own goal in the 16th minute. Let's see if we can go and see what happened. And there we go. And there's another goal. It's Norwich. It's now Norwich 2, Everton. And let's see what is going on there, because this sounds absolutely wild. Now, Norwich are 2-0 up. 2-0 up, people. Keane, an own goal from Keane in the 16th minute. And then 2 minutes later, Adias adds a second. After 18 minutes, it's Norwich City 2, Everton 0. The goal in the 18th minute was assisted by Williams. So there you go. Let's see if we can see. Let's see if we can see how the goals happen. Let's see if we can find some text commentary. Okay, so for the first goal, shocker, it says. Michael Keane, own goal. Could be a big goal at the bottom. It's certainly a calamitous one for Everton defender Michael Keane, who sticks out a boot to meet Josh Sargent's slow cross to the near post on the right, and watching this in horror as the ball goes into the bottom corner. So yeah, a terrible error there from Everton's Michael Keane that gives Norwich a 1-goal lead, and there's nothing really being said about the second goal. I was hoping we'd be able to see something about that. So there you go. Everton in trouble already, and there's some comments in the chat. There's a lot of comments in the chat. James Dunlop says he fancies Newcastle to win today. I think I do as well, to be honest, James. Good afternoon, Warren, says Tony Blackwell. Hi, Tony. Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for popping in. Good afternoon, James and Taib, says Tony. Good afternoon, Tony, says James. James, fancy your chances against Norwich, says Tony. Unfortunately, I don't, Tony. I'm not confident with any game we have coming up. We have to win today. James, it's not looking good, mate. You're 2-0 down already, and one of them was an own goal from Michael Keane. An absolute disaster. I hear that, James, says Tony. I think you're both right. You definitely need to win, and it just seems to be an absolute mess at Everton at the moment. And to be honest, I don't know what the answer is. I think the club needs a whole, from what you've been telling me, James, I think the whole club needs a massive shake-up, top to bottom. But I don't know. I don't know enough about the club really to make a judgment about it, to be frank. But that's what it sounds like from what you've told me. Taib says, hi, Tony. Hi, James. And James says, hi, Taib. And 1-0 Norwich. Michael Keane, own goal, says James Dunlop. 2-0, we are going down. Oh, don't say that, James. Wow, James, I think I spoke too soon. Laugh out loud, Tony, says James. It's absolutely shocking. It really is. Teams are going there and slapping Norwich around all over the place, and Everton rock up, and it's just an absolute disaster. It really is. It's absolutely shocking. So let's move this over here so I can see the chats coming in. Right. So, and looks like Newcastle nearly took the lead. Ryan Fraser's deep cross found Joe Linton at the back post, but he pokes it just wide. Let's have a look, see what else is happening. So 20 minutes gone in the games. It's Newcastle 0, Watford 0, Norwich City 2, Everton 0, and Wolves 0, Southampton 0. And James Dunlop says, sack the board and Benitez out. And James says, I'm not even angry. I expected this to happen, to be honest. Oh, James, that just makes it even worse. That's the sort of things my parents would have said to me when I was a kid. Look, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. And that was worse. You knew they were really, really annoyed when they used to say stuff like that. And Taib says, Ron, do you think it's worth spending big money on Vlahovic? No, I don't, to be quite honest. I personally don't know. I've never seen him play. I don't know anything about him. But my big worry is he's only had one, as far as I know, he's only had one season in Serie A. And he's very young. And he hasn't had any experience in the Premier League. So I just think it's a lot of money to be weighing out on someone with that track record. And the geezer don't even want to come to Arsenal. That's the thing. So I don't know. I just find it a bit... I just don't think we're going to get him. And I don't think he wants to come, to be honest. But I just don't think he's the right fit. Mind you, with Mikel Arteta coaching the side, I don't know whether we're going to get any striker to come here that's got a track record, because they're going to look and see what's happened with every other striker that's been at this club and shy away from it. I mean, because let's be honest, it's been an absolute disaster with Pepe. It's been a disaster with Lacazette. It's been a disaster with Aubameyang. Every other striker he's had at his disposal, he's failed with. So why would you come? If that was me, I wouldn't touch the club with a barge pole, mate. And Taib says 2-0 Norwich. Yeah, it's shocking, man. It really is. Question for James. James, do you think the Everton players have down tools with Rafa? I just wonder whether that's part of the problem as well. Arteta, Taib says, Arteta needs to go. I hate him, man. Mate, I'm just tired of keep going, banging this bloody drum about how this man isn't the right man for the job. I just can't understand what it is, why people think he's the right man. He keeps making the same mistakes over and over and over again. I mean, this business in the week up at Anfield when we got a 0-0 draw, absolutely superb that we got the draw. It is. You have to give credit to the club and the players for digging in and getting that 0-0 draw. But why does, in God's name, does he keep picking Xhaka? The man is a bloody liability. It's just unbelievable. I just can't understand it. Every time he plays, he's just sitting there walking a bloody tightrope of anxiety, thinking, right, when is he going to do something stupid? Because you know it's going to happen. And is he going to get away with it? It's just crazy. Honestly, I just don't understand how he can continue to keep picking him. And has he even apologised for this one? Because I don't think he apologised for any of the other ones. James says, I don't think they want to play for him, Warren. But Mashori had a meeting with Benitez, and it was all about, and all it was about was transfers for this window. Well, I don't know what to say about it, mate, because there's something seriously wrong at Everton, and if it isn't sorted out soon, it's going to get, well, it already is really bad, but it's shocking. It really is. It just saddens me when I think, and Tony will probably back me up with this as well. It saddens me when I remember the Everton side of the mid to 80s to mid 80s to late 80s, the great sides that I remember watching when I was a kid, the players you had in that side, the football you played, and all the rest of it. And now look at it; it's a pale imitation of that club. It really is. I'm telling you, if you put those two teams on the pitch, right, like the team that you had in the 80s I was just talking about, and the one you've got now, that team in the 80s would put 7 or 8 past this current team. They really would. They would absolutely destroy them. And it makes me really angry. And it makes me angry for you, James, because I like and respect you. And it just makes me angry that football fans, like going to games of football, paying their hard-earned money, like to go and watch that shit. And really angers me that people are allowing that crap to go on. It really does. Taib Hussein says Xhaka has no football IQ, nothing good about him. Absolutely spot on, Taib. Absolutely spot on. Tony Blackwell, the Xhaka, the gift, the gift that keeps on giving, lives up to the Arsenal way in my eyes, Warren. I was working, and when I saw it, I laughed my head off. But it's him all over. You know that he's going to do it. Every single fucking time that he plays, he does it. It's just a joke. There's twice now he's played, and he hasn't even played in all our games this season. He's been sent off twice. He did it at the Etihad against Man City, and now he's done it at Anfield in the League Cup. It's an absolute fucking giraffe. It really is. James Dunlop says, I honestly think we'll be the next Portsmouth, Sunderland or Ipswich, who will keep going down and have to rebuild in the lower leagues. Oh, my God. God almighty. Yeah, I've seen it happen with Manchester City. I've seen it happen to Wolves. I've seen it happen to Leeds. Don't let anyone tell you, James, that you're too big to go down, because I had this last season. I used to have these arguments with people about Arsenal and them saying, oh, Arsenal are too good to go down. No one is too good to go down. If the club is being run really poorly, as it appears to be, it could happen. And people need to fight to get whoever it is who's responsible out. Tony Blackwell says, thing is though, James, these players don't look at the bigger picture. Just like the media with Boris, you get rid of someone doesn't mean it's going to be better. I know. That's what the scary thing is about it. Do you know what I mean? Yes, I know I said get them out, but they need to make sure they get the right people in to replace them, because it could get worse. I mean, fucking hell. We got rid of Arsene Wenger and replaced him with fucking Mikel Arteta. I'm not even counting Unai Emery, because that was just, they stitched him up. They really did. Of course, Tony, I get that. But this situation can't be allowed to go on. It's clear that something is wrong. And yeah, this business with Boris, man, he's a fucking farce, that man. He really is. And I just don't think he's got a clue what he's doing. It's just unbelievable. But there you go. Taib says, but Tony, put the kettle on. Tea time. Laugh out loud. Oh, God. And James Taib says, James can have a biscuit. Laugh out. Why are you going, Taib, man? Why are you going on about cups of tea and biscuits? And do you want a chocolate biscuit as well? Jesus Christ. Tony Blackwell says, laugh my ass off. Taib. And James Dunlop says, laugh out loud. Taib. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Right. So let's see what's going on. So it's still Newcastle 0, Watford 0, Norwich City 2, Everton 0, and Wolves 0, Southampton 0. And Newcastle report from St James's Park, where it's Newcastle 0, Watford 0. Kieran Trippier, Ryan Fraser, and John Joe Shelby link up on the right. There are players waiting in the box. Newcastle are dominating the ball, but there's definitely a tense feeling in the stadium. Watford break, but João Pedro's shot is closed down and blocked. And at Carrow Road, it says, Everton finally do get forward, but the attack ends with Salomon Rondon swiveling to hit a limp volley at Tim Krul from inside a packed box. But what do you guys think about Newcastle signing Chris Wood from Burnley? I mean, for me, I think it's a bit of a tactical masterstroke. I really do. It's like in one stroke, they've managed to strengthen their attack, right, by signing Chris Wood, right? And then on the other hand, as well, they've also managed to weaken one of their main rivals in the relegation dogfight. I just think it's a bit of genius, but obviously I think they need better players than Chris Wood to get them out of this mess. But the fact they've managed to weaken Burnley like that, who, let's face it, are going to be one of their rivals in that relegation dogfight, I just think it's a piece of genius. I really do. Taib Hussein says, "Come on, Ryan, I can't be crazy and I'll Lego head manager and laugh at that. Mate, there ain't that much difference." I'm only joking, man. I'm only joking. No, that's true. You couldn't be. The madness of what he's done, like to allow Ainsley Maitland-Niles to go out on loan and not get a replacement. I just find it astonishing. And Drawn by Dre says, thoughts on the match getting postponed tomorrow. I just think it's a shithousery of the highest order. Apparently, we've got one player out with COVID. So what's that all about? How have we been able to get that game called off? Yeah, I know we're really short in midfield, but I thought this whole business about getting games called off was because you had players going down with COVID, not just because you're stupid enough to let players leave the club and not get replacements for letting them out the door. I just think it's bonkers. I really do. I don't understand it at all. I just think it's mad. You were going to go, John by Dre. Mate, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope you didn't pay any money to be able to go to the game. Warren, I kind of agree about the match getting postponed. The only thing is the fixture pile-up will only get worse. And it will. It will, because we got... they're trying to get the season finished, I believe, early this year so that we can get the next season started earlier, I should say, so that we can get the World Cup. And there's a goal. There's a goal. There's a goal, and it's come at Molineux, and it's Wolves 1, Southampton 0, and Raul Jimenez has scored a penalty for Wolves. So there you are. Wolves go 1-0 up. James Dunlop says Wolves have a penalty. I can't believe the Premier League went with this and postponed the game. Opens a can of worms. Next excuse for getting the game called off is that we're shy and need time off so we don't get battered. I think that's what it is. I honestly, Tony, I 100% agree with you. And I think that's why Arsenal tried to get the game called off, because they were scared that we're going to get slapped because they got no midfield. And that is all down to Mikel Arteta's mismanagement. He allowed Ainsley Maitland-Niles to leave this club before getting in a proper replacement. I just think it's crazy. And like I said earlier, I just think it's shithousery of the highest order. The same as it was the other last week or the week before when Liverpool got the game, the League Cup game called off. And Taib says, Tony, I agree, it's becoming a joke now. Mikel Mouse Arteta. Exactly, Taib. So let's see what's going on. So we've just under 40 minutes gone. It's Newcastle 0, Watford 0, Norwich City 2, Everton 0, Wolves 1, Southampton 0. The game between Burnley and Leicester obviously got postponed because of the old ding-dong. And then Villa against Manchester United. That game was due to kick off at 5:30 this evening. That'll be an interesting game. I'll be interested to see what happens with that one tonight. So let's have a look at the Premier League table. So Wolves are now moved up to 8th. They're 2 points behind 7th place Manchester United. But Manchester United have got a game in hand. So yeah, it's looking a bit precarious. Well, a bit tight up the top. Everton, they're in 15th now at the moment. They're on 19 points, on the same number of points as Leeds, 5 points clear of Watford in 17th. But they need to start winning. As simple as that. Because otherwise they're going to get dragged into that relegation dogfight. And I think it's going to get really, really tight down there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So let's see if there's any other scores going around. So in the Championship, it finished Cardiff 0, Blackburn Rovers 1, Luton Town 3, Bournemouth 2. It's a bit of a shock. Barnsley and Blackpool got called off. Looks like that was called off because of the old ding-dong. Derby County are drawing 0-0 with Sheffield United at home. It's Fulham 1, Bristol City 1. Huddersfield Town, Swansea City 0, Middlesbrough 0, Reading 0, Millwall 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Peterborough 1, Coventry 2, Preston North End 1, Birmingham 0, and Queen's Park Rangers 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. Yeah, so in League One, there's only 2 goals in 3 goals, 4 or 5 goals in League One at the moment. One came at Doncaster Rovers where they're losing 1-0 at home to Wigan Athletic. Gillingham are 1-0 up against Burton Albion. Milton Keynes Dons are 1-0 up at Portsmouth. And Sheffield Wednesday are 2-0 up against Plymouth Argyle at home. And Wycombe Wanderers are 1-0 up against Oxford United. So let's get back to the Premier League. Dave says, Everton are in a really bad place right now. I feel sorry for them, to be honest. I do as well. I just think it's shocking. And like I said earlier, when I think about the teams that they had in the late 80s, the Kevin Sheedy and Graham Sharp and Kevin Ratcliffe and Neville Southall and Trevor Stephen and all those people, it sickens me. It really does. I just can't understand how it's been allowed to happen. Tony Blackwell says, feel for you, Warren. Thought you were at a better season. You would also say that the players have some blame in all this as well. I think they do, but not much. I think I think, honestly, I think it's his coaching. I really do. I think he can't handle stars. He can't. And that's why we're going with all these kids, because it's clear that he just can't handle big name players. He can't. It sickens me. It really does. Oh, okay. Sorry, meant James, not Warren. Okay, fair enough. James Dunlop says, thanks, lads. Absolutely welcome, mate. Anytime. Tony, don't worry. I have taken my meds. I haven't taken my meds either. Laugh out loud. Taib, you need to take your medication. I've told you about this before, right? Don't forget to take them. It's really important. And hi, Taib. I knew I forgot something when I woke up. Tony, what do you think about West Ham? They seem to be getting some form back after that little dip they had earlier. So I'm just wondering how you feel about that. James Dunlop says our next match is Aston Villa at home, and Lucas Digne returns as an opponent. Goodison Park next week will be beyond toxic. Jesus. That is going to be a madhouse. It really is, because I'm sorry, mate. I just cannot see you getting anything out of that game. I really can't. Tony Blackwell says, I liked your response, Warren. Thank you. Thanks very much. Tony says that has disaster written all over it, James. It does, doesn't it? It really does. It's just, I don't know, man. I mean, is there any talk about any more demonstrations going to happen at Everton, James, or anything like that? I mean, I think the fans need to take the situation in their own hands, to be honest. Because I think that's what we need to do at Arsenal. But the problem is, I don't think our fans would do it. I just think we've got a very particular breed of fan at Arsenal. And I'm not talking about the old school fans like me. But I'm talking about the younger ones, and I'm not having a pop at the younger ones. I'm not. But we got this breed of fan now at Arsenal that's like, they're sort of very similar, like sort of rugby people, or they're not volatile at all. They're not, and I just cannot. They're not the sort of people you'd expect to see on a demonstration. Right, you wouldn't see them on a march for the miners or something like that, or go demonstrating against the government, or getting really agitated and heated about stuff. I just can't see them doing stuff like that. I really can't. And Tony says, Ron, as long as we keep on playing in a positive way, then hopefully we can do some business and continue the work that Moyes is doing. But yeah, well, I think you've got a really good, apart from anything else, the way things are going, I think you've got a really good chance in the Europa League of winning it. I really do. James says, it does, Tony. I don't feel like going next Saturday because the whole ground will be very unsafe to be. Yeah, mate, if you don't feel safe, then don't go. Just stay away, because this bloody thing that's going around at the moment, man, it's not a joke. It's not. and you need to look after yourself, mate. Taib says, James, if Everton get relegated, it's going to be a long journey to get back into the Premier League. Yeah, and listen, Taib, I've seen it happen before. Like, big sides get relegated out of the Premier League and then they just fall apart. It's happened to Sunderland. They used to be a really big side in the top tier of English football. It happened to Manchester City. They went down all the way, I think, to the 4th division. It happened with Wolves. The same thing happened to them. Leeds went down. I don't think they fell through the leagues, but they struggled for a long time in the 2nd division. So there's a banner at the Norwich game saying, Benitez, get out of our club. Dear. Oh dear. God. That's a shame, James, but I can fully understand it. I can, but I just don't think that. I can understand why people want him out, but I just don't think it's the answer. I think whoever went in there and managed them, they were going to have trouble. I think even if Pep went in there, he'd have trouble. I really do. I don't know. I just think it. I think the problem is more than just him. I think there's a problem with the hierarchy of the club. I really do. I just think it's a shambles. Bit like Arsenal, really. James says, I agree, Taib, and I would be shocked if we end up like. I wouldn't be shocked if we end up like Portsmouth, Sunderland, and other sides have dropped even further. I mean, the thing is, mate, it can happen. It really can, because the Championship is not an easy league. It's not. And that's why I'm so shocked how poor Norwich have been since they come up, because they won the Championship last season at a canter. At a canter. They were slapping teams up all over the place. And then they come up and they look crap. I just don't understand it. Yeah, I know they lost Emi Buendia and all the rest of it, but I don't understand. I really don't. Taib Hussain says, washed up managers should not be appointed at any club. It's always a disaster. Yeah, man, it's true. But the thing is, they've had some really good managers going there. That's what makes me think even more that it's not the manager that's the problem. You've had, in my opinion, 2 of the best managers in the game. You've had Rafa and you've had Don Carlo going there as well. And neither of them really did it. And I think Don Carlo could see that there was something weren't right. And that's why he went back to Real Madrid. That's what I think. And James says, my dad feels the same way too. So I'll speak to him on what we should do next Saturday. But yeah, just be careful, mate. But something needs to happen at that club. It can't be allowed to continue. That's for sure. If that's the case, most clubs would be managerless. That's true. They would. And certainly Arsenal would, that's for sure. And Taib says, Tony, laugh out loud. Yeah, it's shocking. It really is. So let's see if the halftime whistles have gone. So, yeah, the halftime whistle has gone in the 3 Premier League games today. It's Newcastle 0, Watford 0. It's Norwich City 2, Everton 0. And it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Southampton 0. And let's look at the match stats for those games. Let's start with up at St James's Park between Newcastle and Watford. Looks like Newcastle are very dominant at the moment. They've had 62% possession against Watford's 38. They've had 10 shots with Watford having 9, but they haven't managed to get a shot on target yet. That's a bit of a shock. And Watford have had a shot on target. Newcastle have had 4 corners, Watford have had 3, and Newcastle committed 8 fouls and Watford have committed 6. So there you go. That's what's been going on at St James's Park. And let's go. Let's go down to Carrow Road and see what the tale of the tape is between Norwich and Everton. So Norwich have had 44% possession. Everton have had 56%. Norwich have had 6 shots. Everton have had 7. And Norwich have had 2 shots on target and Everton have had 3. Norwich have had 3 corners and Everton have had 5. And Norwich have made 6 fouls and Everton have made 7. So there you go. But the most important stat of the afternoon is this one. It says Norwich 2, Everton 0, and it's a sorry state of affairs. It really is. Next game is Wolves against Southampton. And Wolves, they've had 45% possession. Southampton have had 55. Wolves have had 4 shots. Southampton have had 5. Wolves have had 2 shots on target. And Southampton have had 5. That's impressive. Every shot that Southampton have had has been on target. Wow. Wolves have had 2 corners and Southampton have had 9, and Wolves have had committed 7 fouls and Southampton have committed 3. So yeah, there you are. So we're up to date then with the Premier League fixtures. Let's see if we can get a roundup from the rest of the games around the country. So, as we said earlier, this is the scores from the Championship. It finished Cardiff City 0, Blackburn Rovers 1, Luton Town 3, AFC Bournemouth 2. It ended. The game between Barnsley and Blackpool got postponed, and then the halftime scores in the other games, it's Derby County 0, Sheffield United 0, Fulham 4, Bristol City 2, and still 4 minutes to play there. Huddersfield Town 1, Swansea City 0, Middlesbrough 0, Reading 0, Millwall 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Peterborough United 1, Coventry 2, Preston North End 1, Birmingham City 0, and Queen's Park Rangers 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. So that's the halftime scores in the Championship. And then in League One, it's Accrington Stanley 0, Sunderland 0, AFC Wimbledon 0, Morecambe 0, Bolton Wanderers 0, Ipswich Town 0, Cheltenham Town 1, Charlton Athletic 0, Crewe Alexandra 0, Shrewsbury Town 0, Doncaster Rovers 0, Wigan Athletic 1, Fleetwood Town 0, Rotherham United 0, Gillingham 1, Burton Albion 0, Lincoln City 0, Cambridge United 0, Portsmouth 0, Milton Keynes Dons 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Plymouth Argyle 0. And Wycombe Wanderers 1, Oxford United 0. And then League Two, it finished earlier today. Newport County 4, Harrogate Town 0. And the halftime scores in the other games are Bradford City 0, Salford City 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Hartlepool United 0, Carlisle United 0, Crawley Town 1, Colchester United 0, Barrow 0, Exeter City 0, Scunthorpe United 0, Mansfield Town 0, Walsall 0, Northampton Town 0, Forest Green Rovers 0, Port Vale 1, Swindon Town 2, Stevenage 2, Sutton United 0. And finally, Tranmere Rovers 2, Rochdale 0. There you go, James. Your other team's doing all right. Tranmere Rovers are 2-0 up at half-time against Rochdale. Let's have a quick butchers at that one. So, yeah, looks like the Rochdale dominating possession now. But, yeah, seem to be doing all right. 2-0 up. Took 2-goal lead very early in the game. 2 goals from their striker, Jolly. Well, I don't know if he's their striker, but he's certainly scored 2 goals in the opening 16 minutes. So they're 2-0 up at half time against Rochdale. So there you go. And any other standout scores there? Not really, is there? The FA Trophy's going on today. That's interesting. And Maidstone are losing 1-0 at Boreham Wood. Dagenham and Redbridge are drawing 0-0 with Southend United. Yeah, I can remember some of these teams when I used to go and watch football in the lower leagues. Yeah, okay, so let's crack on. So let's look at the chats. Tony Blackwell says Luton winning again. Wonder how long it will be till we see them in the top flight again. Yeah, man, they're doing well. I have to say I haven't really been following them, but yeah, they keep winning like that. They're going to be up there. Let's see. Let's see if we can have a look at the championship table and see where they are. Because they must be getting up there, surely. So let's have a look. Yeah, look. They're in 15th. That is a shock. Well, mind you, they've got games in hand over most of the sides above them. And they're only 10 points behind QPR, who are 6th in the last playoff place. So, big up to them. That's what I say. Hopefully, they'll start turning it around, I guess. Tony Blackwell says, look at Charlton, a couple of years back, changed manager and chairman, now League One. It's sad to see. Yeah, they're one of my local sides, Tony. They're only just up the road from here, really. It's sad to see they've gone down the league. So I remember them being in the old third division and struggling, and then, having to move out of the Valley and then managing to get the Valley back, and they even had to set up a political party, and have councillors standing in the local elections. Was it something they called themselves? Bring Back the Valley or something like that. It was called, and to make sure that they could do it, and they ended up getting back to the Valley, came up to the Premier League, and then, like you say, changed the manager, changed the chairman, and then got relegated. James said at least Tranmere are winning and remain second in League Two at the moment. Mate, exactly. Do you ever go and watch them? That's what I want to know. Do you ever go down there and watch Tranmere? I remember years ago when I was a kid, they always used to play on a Friday night because they didn't want to have to compete with Liverpool and Everton for crowds. So, I don't know. Taib Hussain says, had a teacher in high school who was a massive Charlton fan. He was very happy when they gained promotion to the Premier League back in the day. How times have changed. Yeah, exactly. It's sad to see. It really is. And Charlton fans used to moan at Kirbysley because at 40 points they shut up shop and just saw the remainder out. Bet those days were back. I bet they do as well, mate. Kirbysley, he ended up going to West Ham, didn't he? I'm sure he did. But and then they had Keith Peacock there as well. He was mad because they'd always be, when he was manager, they'd always be like in really bad relegation trouble, and then all of a sudden he'd start getting playing and they pull themselves away from the relegation zone. It was madness. James Tunlop said, sometimes I go and watch Tranmere. Depends on if I've got nothing going on at the weekends, and Everton home match is clashing as well. Yeah, and I think that's why that they used to play their games on a Friday night, because they always thought they could get more crowds if they played on a Friday night and their games didn't clash with Liverpool and Everton. So, yeah. Tony Blackpool says, yes, he did one. Yeah, I thought I can remember him at Upton Park. So, Tony, have you been to the London Stadium yet? And if you do, are you liking it, or would you prefer them to be back at Upton Park? I remember going to Upton Park once to watch Arsenal against West Ham, and West Ham slapped Arsenal by 3-1, and I think it was Liam Brady's debut for West Ham, and he scored an absolute screamer against Arsenal from outside the box. Tony Blackwell says, bet you see more top flight football. I bet you see more fight and football from Tranmere compared to Everton, James. Newcastle are 1-0 up against Watford. Right. Here we go. Thank you for that, James. And there you go. Its second half has just started, and there's already been a goal, and it's gone in at St James's Park. It's Newcastle 1, Watford 0. And let's see what's happened. It's been scored by St Maximin in the 49th minute. and all it says is just special. Oh, well, okay. But it doesn't really tell us what's happened. Oh, no, what's happened here? And Norwich 2, Everton 0, and the heading says, "What are Everton doing?" Vitaly Mykolenko loses his mind with a back pass straight to Adam Idea in the box. Thankfully for the Toffees, he has his back to goal, and in turning allows Ben Godfrey to get back and tackle. Dear me, it just seems to go from bad to worse. And is that the new Ukrainian defender that's done that? Jesus, good God. Alan St. Maximin has just exploded into game. He's a wonderful talent. Ben Foster, absolutely no chance for that. It's a wonderful goal, and you have to say a wonderful player, says Neil Lennon. Yeah, well, pity you didn't have as good a judge of players when you was at Celtic, mate, innit? Fucking Egypt. And Newcastle 1, Watford 0. Musa Sissoko takes out the frustrations of Watford and comes crashing into Alan St. Maximin. The physios are on. He looks uncomfortable. Well, is he going to get booked? Sake. Honestly, I can't stand that. Fucking book the bastard. Alan St. Maximin has been getting stick all game, and deservedly so. He's delayed attacks, given the ball away, and then he emerges from half-time and scores a tough goal. He can only he can in this Newcastle team. Quality. Alistair McGowan. Who the hell's Alistair McGowan? Who's that muppet? Substitution. There's substitution at Carrow Road. This had to happen. Richarlison is on for Solomon, Rondon for Everton. They also send on Yerry Mina for Seamus Coleman. Martin Keown. I don't care who they buy. There's not a better player in that team than Alan St. Maximin. It is a fantastic goal from him. So it sounds like this goal that Alan St. Maximin scored for Newcastle was an absolute screamer. So I'll be looking out for that tonight on Match of the Day. And if it isn't Martin Cohen, I'm coming after you, mate, because I'm sick and tired of hearing you talking absolute crap. You keep doing it, and I'm getting sick of hearing it. So, Taib says, Wenger once said in his press conference that he had 11 international players on the pitch, forgetting how bad they actually were. Well, laugh out loud. Yeah, well, you could have 11 international players from Gibraltar, couldn't you? Or San Marino. What's that? What was he trying to say? That's just a ridiculous comment, isn't it? James Dunlop, I do see more of that at Tranmere, Tony. At least it's proper football from grown men, other than cowards that we have at Everton. I've been to the London Stadium, Ron. It's an okay stadium considering its original purpose. It's more open. You get to see the game. Can't beat the bowling, but clubs have to move on to progress. Sadly, that's true, mate. It is. It's a shame that you had to move away from the bowling ground. It really is. And Tony says, I bet you do, James. Ron, the worst part of the London Stadium is when you leave. It's such a long walk and controlled by stewards. When you go there, it's easier if you just walk through Westfields. Yeah, I remember when I went to Upton Park, I live in Kent, and it took me nearly 2.5 hours to get home, and it was a night game, so I didn't get home till nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. It was just absolute madness. I think I got home earlier when I went up to Coventry to see Arsenal play Coventry. I just couldn't figure that out. Tony Blackwell says, Martin Keown is never biased for a laugh out, just like that twat Steve Manaman. Yeah, no, I'm really disappointed with Martin Keown. I really am. I liked him as a player, but I just think he talks absolute rubbish. Taiva says Wenger never ran out of excuses. Laugh out loud. No, that's true. He didn't, mate. He used to say some good stuff. He did. I have to be honest, but sometimes some of the things he used to come out with were embarrassing. But yeah, there you go. Neil Lennon, why don't they just retire him? For Christ's sake. Tasty game now, he says. Newcastle 1, Watford 0. Neil Lennon, former Celtic midfielder on BBC Radio 5 Live. I noticed they didn't put former Celtic manager on there. The game's really sparked into life. And there's a goal! And there you go. Everton are called a goal back. And Richarlison, cometh the hour, cometh the man. And he stepped up and he scored. It's Norwich 2, Everton 1. So there you go, James. They've managed to get themselves back into the game. And it's been disallowed. There's been a disallowed goal. Wolves have the ball in the back of the net following a free kick into the box. But it's ruled out for offside. Southampton have had 6 shots on goal, but just 1 on target. Their finishing is what's let them down so far today. Yeah, and normally their finishing's quite good, so I'm surprised about that. But, yeah. But let's see if we can see what's happened with that goal from Everton. No, nothing. Just that he scored and but there you go. So it's Newcastle 1, Watford 0. It's Norwich 2, Everton 1, and Wolves 1, Southampton 0. And James Dunlop says, good that we scored, but I'm not getting my hopes up. You sound like me, James, when I'm watching Arsenal. I'm just like that. I just can't get excited by this. I'm sorry. I cannot get excited about this manager. I can't. He's just, even when we were playing Liverpool the other night, he sucked all the enthusiasm out of me for my club. And I think that's disgusting. I'm so angry with him for that. And Tony Blackwell says it's the comeback, James. We'll see, Tony, says James Dunlop. Warren, see Eddie and his assistant doing the dance moves to stop right now in that picture. Laugh at that. Mate, that is hilarious, isn't it? Let me see if I can get it back up. because I thought it was really funny too. Yes, exactly. It is, isn't it? Look at the dot, and it's a goal. There's a goal. So where's this goal then? I'm sure I could see the yellow bit flashing, which means that it's been a goal. Keep going on there. And it's Cummer Molyneux. It's Wolves 2, Southampton 0. And it's been scored by Connor Cody in the 59th minute. And Wolves are now 2-0 up at home to Southampton. So there you go, folks. And it's heating up now. It's Newcastle 1, Watford 0. St Maximin getting that goal. It's Norwich City 2, Everton 1. Richarlison pulling one back for Everton at Norwich. And Connor Cody's just grabbed a second one for Wolves. They're now 2-0 up at home to Southampton. So, yeah, it's all really heating up. Let's see if we can have a look at the table. We'll do that in a minute. It's a couple of comments. Ty Warren, certain clubs are not really benefiting from billionaire owners. It's sad to see. Mate, if you're referring to Arsenal, I do hold the Cronkies accountable, but the only reason I hold them accountable is because they're the ones that have appointed all these clowns that are in our club, right? They put the money on the table. We can't say that they haven't, right? And that's all you can really ask an owner to do. The problem is that clowns managing our club have mismanaged it, and they are responsible for that because they've been because they don't know anything about football. It's been easy for these muppets to pull the wool over their eyes and allow all this madness to continue. Tony Blackwell says, "Who to Warren? The suspense is killing me. It went to Wolves, Tony." And James says, Wolves 2-0 up. I've been really impressed with that manager of theirs this season. Yeah, he's done really well, hasn't he? Yeah, he didn't need nearly 2.5 years to get a style of play and get his team performing, did he? I noticed that. Unlike certain other managers. Tony Blackwell, I agree, James. What I like about him is he's getting on with things and not making a scene out of it. Exactly. Not like a certain other manager in North London. James Dunlop says, definitely, Tony. Look how organised they are defensively. They've been really solid. They are. Just have a look at their recent run of games, right? And it's really impressive. It is. And I'm telling you, I'm going to make a prediction here and now. They're going to finish above Arsenal. There you go. They will finish above Arsenal. Tony Blackwell says, definitely, James. Right. Now, so let's have a look at the Premier League table. So here we go. So Wolves are up to 8th, which was what it was when we looked at it earlier. They're level on points now with Manchester United, but most of the teams above them have got games in hand or played the same amount of games as them. they've got to play Arsenal in a game. There's a rearranged game that they have to play against Arsenal soon. Newcastle, as it stands, they're moving out of the bottom three. And as it stands, Watford are in the bottom three. Norwich move off the bottom, and Burnley are now sitting bottom of the table. So it's been a few changes down at the bottom, and the Geordies will be really happy to see themselves out of the bottom three. And I'm sure there's a chance of we're staying up at St James's Park now. So 65 minutes gone. It's Newcastle 1, Watford 0. It's Norwich 2, Everton 1. And it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Southampton 0. And Ahmed Patel says, come on, lads. Hi, Ahmed. I hope you're well. Thanks for joining us in the chat. I hope you're having a great day. I don't think I've seen you in my chat before. So if this is your first time here, I'd like to give you a big warm welcome. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm just having a bit of a laugh about all the football that's going on this afternoon. What do you think of us right now? Ahmed, who do you support? Who's your team? And I'll answer your question because I'm not sure what team you support, to be quite frank. And Tony Blackwell says, afternoon, Ahmad. Ahmad says, Arsenal. I'm very happy with the draw against Liverpool. I think it was really good defensive performance from the lads, but I'm not happy with Granit Xhaka. I just don't understand how it is that he still getting played. I don't think he's of the required standard for Arsenal Football Club, and I think we need to get rid of him. And I have to say, I'm not happy that the manager keeps picking him. I just don't understand it. In my opinion, I think he's a liability. Tony Blackwell says Arsenal have confidence right now, and your results have come due to teams being below par and depleted on injuries, etc. Time will tell against some teams to see where Arsenal finish. Exactly, and there's teams in and around us who've played less games than we have. If they win their games in hand, they're going to move above us, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'm happy that we're showing a bit more fight and whatnot, but I think the lack of experience in the team has shown in the last couple of weeks with, the sending offs and throwing away of penalties and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. It's certainly going to be interesting, that's for sure, though. So let's update ourselves on the scores. But Ahmed, what do you think? Are you happy with way things are going and with the direction the club is moving, or are you more like in my camp and have got serious concerns about it? Because I have got serious concerns, I have to be honest. And Neil Lennon is having his say again, and he's saying Lascelles is a lucky man. Jamal Lascelles is their luckiest man at St James's Park. He's made an absolute boo-boo trying to play a square pass and miskicked it. Musa Sissoko has the whole goal to aim at, and he misses. What an opportunity for Watford. All of a sudden, there's tension creeping into this game again. Watford win a corner on the right. It's half clear to the edge of the box, and Edu Kayembe's strike isn't too far away from creeping inside the left post. There's a substitution now as well. Kiko Famina is on for Jeriem Nagakia. And then, what's happened? The breaking news, people. The teams are out. The Aston Villa United game. New signing Philippe Coutinho is named on the bench for Aston Villa as Steven Gerrard makes 2 changes to the side that lost 1-0 at Old Trafford on the FA Cup on Monday. Lucas Digne makes his debut after joining the club from Everton on Thursday, while Morgan Sanson replaces the suspended John McGinn in midfield. So the Aston Villa 11 is Martinez, Cash, Konsa, Mings, Digne, Sanson, Douglas Luiz, Ramsey, Watkins, Ings and Wendia. And on the subs bench, they've got Steer, Target, Young, Coutinho, Hayden, Jose, Chukwuemeka, Archer, and Iroquois Benoit, I think that is. United have made 3 changes to their team, and they've got in goal, they've got David De Gea, and the rest of the team is Dalot, Lindelof, Varane, Telles, Fred, Manic, Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, Alanga and Cavani. And on their subs bench, they've got Heaton, Henderson, Jones, Maguire, Mata, Lingard, Sancho and Van der Beek. And at Molineux, they're saying there are a lot of miserable-looking Southampton fans in the away end. It's a long journey for what has largely been a disappointing performance, particularly in this second half. So there you go. So what does everyone think about this Villa Man United game? What's your predictions? I think Villa might turn United over, actually. Ronaldo's not playing again. And there's 15 minutes left now for Norwich to hold on and Everton to push for 11er. For James's sake, I hope they manage to do it. But my mate Mick will be on tenterhooks as well. Massive Norwich fan. He'll be hoping and praying that Norwich can hold on because they certainly need to. Substitution at Molineux. Wolves 2, Southampton 0. Another change for Southampton. The Stuart Armstrong comes on from Nathan Teller. Just under 20 minutes to go. The Saints need a goal soon if they are to stage a comeback. And Newcastle 1, Watford 0. Jacob Murphy is on for Newcastle. And Ryan Fraser is off. He's worked his socks off, shall they say. And at Carrow Road, the reporter is saying that Brandon Williams has had a fine game. He ran himself into the ground. He's replaced by Sam Bryan. So, and Ahmad says, bit of both. Okay. Ahmad, are you aware that the game tomorrow has been called off? The Arsenal Spurs game. What's your thoughts about that? And James Dunlop says, good luck to Lucas Digne at Aston Villa. And Tony Blackwell says, I can see Villa getting a result against United. I can as well, mate, to be honest. I think they were very unlucky from what I heard against United in that FA Cup match last weekend. And I think Villa will win 2-1. United are a mess as well. They are, aren't they? And all that stuff in the week that Cristiano Ronaldo saying that the players aren't interested, they're not working hard enough, and it's really disappointing to see it and whatnot. It's a bit shocking, really. And then this Alistair McGowan geezer, he keeps popping up with these little comments. I don't even know who he is. Apparently he works for BBC Sport. I've never heard of him before. Newcastle have weathered a bit of a response from Watford with the game more even now. All about cool heads now, isn't it? No, that bloody cool heads. Just get steaming, go steaming in and go after it. Never mind bloody cool heads. Watford have looked dangerous on the break all game. And Eddie Howe is having a long chat with Jason Tindall about how to manage this game to a successful conclusion. Why would he be speaking to Jason Tindall about that? Jesus Christ, these people, honestly. This is where you earn your cash as a manager. This clown, honestly. Neil Lennon, what's he saying? Another clown. It's like bloody Billy's Smart Circus, isn't it? Bloody BBC. The amount of clowns that they've got. Sorry, guys, my internet connection went down there. Sorry about that. I was chatting away, and then suddenly I could see the circle going round and round and round, and I was thinking, oh my God. God knows. I'm back. I'm back. Thank God. Yeah, the internet went down. He's back. The boys are back in town. I think Villa will win 2-1. Yeah, we'll get that. Big up to Ahmad Patel, says Taib. And Tony Blackwell, hats off to James Rodriguez. James seems his actions saved the life of Osman Koulibaly in the AFCON this week. Why was James at the AFCON? I don't understand. With Colombia playing in the AFCON for some reason. I don't understand that. It don't make any sense. I saw that, Tony. Fair play to him for doing that. Yeah, but fair play to him for doing what he did. But I don't understand why he was there. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Taib says, birdie, birdie in the sky, laid a turdy in my eye. If cows could fly, I'd have a cow pie in my eye. Right, okay. So what's that got to do with the games that we're watching, Taib? Mate, you're a nutter. A full-blown nutter. Who's back, Batman? Laugh out loud. Sorry, it wasn't the AFCON. It was some cup game. Oh, okay. Sorry, mate. I just got really confused. I thought that Colombia had been invited to guest at the AFCON or something. Because I know it happens. Because I know in South American Championship, sometimes they invite teams from North America to take part as well. So I thought something like that had happened or something. Tony have been watching the AFCON. Yes, Taib, I've watched some games. Right, so let's see. Because we've lost all the screens that we've had. Let's see if we can get that. Chucho Hernandez is on for Emmanuel Dennis. Can he make the difference for Watford? So let's see. Right, with just over between 8 and 5 minutes to go, it's Newcastle 1, Watford 0, Norwich 2, Everton 1, and Wolves 2, Southampton 0. So just under 10 minutes to go, and it's getting very tense now, I can imagine, at St James's Park, because that is a huge game at St James's Park. A massive 6-pointer there. Same at Carrow Road. Massive game for both sides. Both of them desperately need to win it for different reasons. And Wolves are continuing their good run of form. And it's certainly heating up. Not as dramatic as last week, though, when we had a 5-4 game. That Barrow Barnsley match, Jesus. That was a madhouse. So, in the Wolves Southampton game, Southampton break, and for a moment, Stuart Armstrong looks like he's going to race clear, but Wolves defence recovers quickly and the opportunity goes. Tony Blackwell says it was some match in Qatar, Warren. I have to be honest, I haven't seen any of those games, I'm sad to say. But I heard that there was loads of trouble in that Ghana-Gabon game, so I don't know quite what happened, but Aubameyang didn't play because he had heart lesions or something. Taib says, nice one, Tony. I think Algeria or Cameroon will win it. And Tony says, I favour Cameroon, Taib, but can't dismiss it. And there's a goal. There is a goal. There's a goal. And it has come at Molineux. And Southampton have got themselves back into the game. It's Wolves 2, Southampton 1. And let's see who got that goal. And it came from James Ward-Prowse in the 84th minute. And let's see if we can see what happened there. And there's a goal at St James's Park as well. It's all. And it's Newcastle 1, Watford 1. And they have done it. Oh my God, that is disastrous for Newcastle. They look like they'd gotten themselves out of the relegation zone. But that just proves you have to play until the final whistle blows. And this goal was scored by João Pedro. So, yeah, João Pedro scored in the 88th minute. And it looks like that Watford may have rescued a point. Newcastle have been clinging on a bit in this second half. And Kiko Firmino whips in a brilliant ball from the right. João Pedro gets there first and thumps a header past Martin Dubravka. Claudio Ranieri lets out a huge roar on the touchline. It's a sucker punch for Newcastle. Yeah, I can imagine that wily old fox is doing his pieces on the touchline. And Norwich 2, Everton 1. Everton will have 7 minutes of injury time to find something. Not the number that Norwich wanted to see. So there you go. And the games are now heading into added time. And it's Newcastle 1, Watford 1, Norwich 2, Everton 1, Wolves 2, Southampton 1. And Warren, do you rate Odegaard? I think he's got good potential, but he needs to go in the gym. That's what I think. And he needs to eat a bit more red meat. Tony, thumbs up. 3-2 Villa, says Taib. Be a great game if it is 3-2, that's for sure. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Villa will win it. James Dunlop says Newcastle will be kicking themselves, conceding late on. They will. They won't be happy. Totally, James. This is where they need results, especially as other teams around them are struggling. Yeah, there could be a big missed opportunity here for them, really. They should have took advantage of this and got the win. James Dunlop says 100%, Tony. And the thing is, Watford are like deep in the mire in that relegation battle as well, and they could have struck a big blow in their quest to avoid relegation if they managed to get a win today. Well, game's not over yet, but it's not looking good, is it? Tony, I was just going to ask you as well about the Christmas dinner. How did the Christmas dinner go with Terry, and what did he say about the turkey? The turkey in the Arteta picture. Oh, I'd love to have seen that. I really would. That would have been absolutely hilarious. I'd love to have seen his face when it came out and he saw that picture. Poor old Terry. Everywhere he goes, he gets absolutely battered. I do feel sorry for the fella, but he does bring it on himself. He does. And the BBC reporter is saying Norwich 2, Everton 1. Anywhere will do for the Canaries. We're halfway through that added 7 minutes. And Adam Idia has a chance to seal it, but after being forced on the edge of the box, his effort is blocked. Everton are still in it just. Newcastle 1, Watford 1. Watford have the ball again. It's sprayed over to the right, then switched back across. The ball comes in. Joshua King tries to turn, but he's penalised for a foul in the box. Tony Blackwell. Oh, here we go. The Christmas dinner went well, Ryan. He laughed about the Arteta head, but he tried to claim a bet with my son because Arsenal are above West Ham. My boy told him to do one as he laughed in his face. And there's a goal at Molineux. And it's gone. And it's Wolves 3, Southampton 1. And Adam Traore has got the goal. Surely that's the 3 points safe now for Wolves. And that would be a massive 3 points for Wolves. And Everton have a corner. Yeah, so, oh dear. Oh, that must have been hilarious. I'd love to have seen his face when that turkey come out. And then your boy telling him to do one as well. Oh, and he, honestly, I just can't believe it. He tried to offer your son a bet. He's mad. Honestly, he is mad. He really is. He would drive me absolutely insane. I reckon I could spend about 20 minutes, half an hour with him. And then after that, I'd start to get really agitated with him. I really would. I reckon he must be really annoying. Roaring the stream froze. I missed some comments. Okay. Where was the last comment that you saw? Trier, he scored. Wow, says James Donner. Yeah, so some of the games have finished. Let's see what's happening. Well, according to this, they haven't. Fella there says that some of the games have finished. Newcastle 1, Watford 1. all over. Yao Pedro's late header denies not Newcastle all 3 points. Well, not according to your website, it ain't finished. Oh, now it has. So it's Newcastle 1, Watford 1, and Norwich and Everton still looking like it's going to end. Norwich 2, Everton 1. And John Akers, the BBC reporter, says Wolves have got the 3 points. Adama Traore scores at last. Racing through, left foot. For once, there was no composure. He slotted it past the keeper. So there you go. Comfortable 3-1 win in the end for Wolves, I guess. Norwich 2, Everton 1. Tim Krul is still down, receiving treatment, eating in the time. The Everton fans singing, sack the board. They want a complete clear out of the club. Scorched earth. Well, I think they're right. Coutinho awaits his debut. Martin Kieran says, I feel Traore is awesome at times. Just for once, we have the satisfaction of seeing it. It's a lovely finish from him. I'd sign him if he was I was manager at Arsenal. Arsenal, get in and buy him. Well, thankfully, Martin, you ain't manager of Arsenal, and you're not likely to be, because you haven't got good drip, and you ain't the best looking Spaniard we know. So you can forget that one, fella. And it's finished. It's Norwich 2, Everton 1, and Neil Lennon. Work to do at Newcastle. No shit, Neil Lennon. No shit, Sherlock. Jesus. King of talking the obvious, speaking the obvious. Jesus. James Dunlop says full time 2-1 Norwich. Not really a shock to me. At least Tranmere won 2-0 today. Yeah, big up Tranmere Rovers as well. Wolves do well to find new managers, says Taib. And James Dunlop says Norwich deserved the win. The damage was done in that first half. Absolutely, mate. And Taib, yeah, you're right. They did do well to get that new manager because he's been doing a really good job. So let's look at the scores, see if all the games have finished now. I think they probably have. Yeah, they have. So here we go. The Premier League scores for so far from today. It finished Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, Newcastle United 1, Watford 1, Norwich City 2, Everton 1, Wolves 3, Southampton 1. There's a game tonight at 5:30 between Aston Villa and Manchester United, and the game between Burnley and Leicester got postponed. And let's see the other scores. And in the Championship, it ended Cardiff City 0, Blackburn Rovers 1, Luton Town 3, AFC Bournemouth 2. And the game between Barnsley and Blackpool was postponed. Derby County 2, Sheffield United 0. Fulham 6, Bristol City 2. So Fulham go goal crazy again. My God, they're banging in goals left, right and centre at the moment. Maybe Newcastle should go and try and sign one of their strikers or some of their players even. Huddersfield Town 1, Swansea City 1, Middlesbrough 2, Reading 1. Let me just have a look at that. So Balogun was on the bench and he didn't get off the bench. So, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, Middlesbrough 2, Reading 1. And with about minutes ago, it's Millwall 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Peterborough United 1, Coventry City 4, Preston North End 1, Birmingham City 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. In the African Cup of Nations, it's half-time, it's Nigeria 2, Sudan 0. And League 1 is Accrington Stanley 1, Sunderland 1, AFC Wimbledon 0, Morecambe 0, Bolton Wanderers 2, Ipswich Town 0, Cheltenham Town 1, Charlton Athletic 1, Crewe Alexandra 0, Shrewsbury Town 0, Doncaster Rovers 1, Wigan 2, Fleetwood Town 1, Rotherham United 0, Gillingham 1, Burton Albion 3, Lincoln City 0, Cambridge United 1, Portsmouth 1, Milton Keynes 2, Sheffield Wednesday 4, Plymouth Argyle 2, Bolton 2, Oxford United 0. So let's get back to some of these chats because they're piling up. Fulham are goal crazy in the Championship. 6-2 up against Bristol City, says James Dunlop. Yeah, they are, and they keep doing it week after week after week. They're slapping teams up left, right, and centre. Taib says Chelsea would do what they are known for, to sack yet another manager and bring in a new one. Personally, I'd give Tuchel another go next season. I'll tell you what though, Taib, I reckon that Chelsea will sack Tuchel before Arsenal will sack Arteta. There you go. James Dunlop, Derby won again. I'm happy for Wayne Rooney. Yeah, he's doing a good job. And as he said, do you agree with what he said, James? Once a blue, always a blue. And would you like to see him back at Everton in some capacity? Maybe on the coaching staff or something. Maybe as assistant to Big Duncan. Tony Blackwell said that's a great result for Fulham, James. Tony Blackwell says Tuchel isn't the problem, Taib. These players need a reality check. Hopefully they will get a boot up their behinds and move on. It is Tony. Marco Silva is doing a great job there, says James. And Taiba says, Tony, I agree. Carney O'Connor, how's it going, guys? First time here. Welcome, Carney. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you very much for coming. I hope you're enjoying the show. So thanks very much for coming in. It's been a good afternoon. We've been watching the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League and keeping an eye on the other games in the other leagues in the English Football League. Taib says Mikel Antonio is miles better than Lukaku. Hey Carney, good to see you on here. I hope you're well, says Tony Blackwell. Most people I've spoken to want Wayne Rooney back as the new manager. I'd appoint you or anyone in the chat for the job. Thank you very much, James. And I'll tell you what, mate, if they appointed me as manager, I'd give it 100%, mate. I'll tell you that now. And it wouldn't be for want of trying, that's for sure. Carney O'Connor, all good. You're welcome, Warren. Well, it's nice to see you, buddy, and thanks for coming. So, Tony Blackwell says, I can't, James. I'm doing a good job with my new team. Give it till the end of the season and I'll let you know. Carney from Wax Online Chat says Tayyip Hussain. Laugh out loud, Tony, says James Dunlop. Right, okay, so let's go back and see what the final scores were in League Two. Newport County 4, Harrogate Town 0, Bradford City 2, Salford City 1, Bristol Rovers 2, Hartlepool United 0, Carlisle United 1, Crawley Town 1, Colchester United 0, Barrow 2, Exeter City 2, Scunthorpe United 0, Mansfield Town 2, Walsall 0, Northampton Town 1, Forest Green Rovers 1, Oldham Athletic and Leyton Orient was postponed, presumably because of the old ding-dong. Port Vale 1, Swindon Town 3, Stevenage 3, Sutton United 3, Tranmere Rovers 2, Rochdale 0. So big up to Tranmere there. National League, it finished Barnet 1, Chesterfield 4, Grimsby Town 2, Altrincham 0, Wealdstone 2, Dover Athletic 1. And then in the FA Trophy, standout scores, Aldershot 0, Bromley 2. And still going on, Bournemouth 1, Maidstone United 1. And there's penalties going on in that game. Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Southend United 0. Bit of a local derby there, I think. Dartford 1, Weymouth 0. Notts County 2, Eastleigh 1. I remember Notts County being in the old First Division. Jesus. Another massive club and probably the oldest football club in the world, festering away down in the bowels of non-league football. It's just criminal. Stockport County 3, Larkhall Athletic 0. So I'm sure Dan will be happy with that. Tunbridge Angels 1, Kings Lynn Town 1. Games that gone to penalties as well. So yeah, there you go, guys. Carney O'Connor at Tayyip saying, yes, mate, it's me. And James Dunlop says, good that Northampton draw today. Tranmere comfortable in second place at the moment, says James. I'm happy for them, mate. Hopefully they'll get promoted this season. Tony Blackwell says, nice one, James. James Dunlop says, cheers, Tony. Yeah, James, if you don't feel safe going to Everton next week, maybe if Tranmere are playing at home, go and give them a visit and see how you enjoy that. I'm sure you'll have a great time there. I've always enjoyed going to watch lower league football when I've been. Lower league football, non-league football, I don't know, I just found it really enjoyable. I really did. My time, games that I went to involving Maidstone United and Tunbridge and whatnot, it was great. It really was. So games tomorrow. Let's have a look, see what's going on tomorrow. So tomorrow in the Premier League, we got Liverpool against Brentford, West Ham against Leeds, both 2:00 kickoffs. Obviously, the Spurs Arsenal game, as we know, has been called off. So, what does everyone think about this Liverpool Brentford game and West Ham against Leeds? I think Liverpool will win the game against Brentford. I don't think it'll be a walk in the park, but I think they will win, maybe by a couple of goals. And West Ham against Leeds, I can't see anything other than a comfortable, really comfortable, emphatic victory for West Ham, if I'm being honest, tomorrow. James Dunlop says, I'll speak to my dad tonight about next Saturday. On for Tranmere, they are away to Crawley next weekend. Oh, that's a shame, mate. It really is. Well, whatever you do, mate, I hope you enjoy yourself, but just make sure that you stay safe as well, because it's not only all that toxicity you got to worry about, it's the old ding dong as well. You got to be careful. Can't blame you, James, says Tony Blackwell. Have to take your father and yourself safety in mind. Exactly. Just make sure you stay safe and look after each other. Liverpool, Tony says Liverpool will show what they can do and out Arsenal in two minds about when you face each other again. Yeah. I think that it's going to be a really tight game in that second leg. I really do, and I think it could go either way, really. But depends if they get their players back from the AFCON or not, and the same with us, really. And whether the game goes ahead or not. I mean, who knows? The stunt some of these clubs are pulling at the moment. Tony Blackwell says Leeds are depleted with injuries, so as you said, it should be comfortable for West Ham. Right, okay, guys, I'm going to call it a day now. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks to everyone for coming and watching and taking part. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really grateful for everyone who came in the chat. So I'd like to give a big shout out to Tony Blackwell, to James Dunlop, for Carney O'Connor, Taib Hussain, and who else have we had? Just bear with me a couple of secs, guys. And Ahmad Patel, and drawn by Dre. And Tony says, good show, Warren. Thanks again. Thanks to you, Tony, for coming in. Always love it when you come in. Take care, everyone, Carney O'Connor says. Thank you very much for coming in again, Carney. I hope you enjoyed your first visit to the channel. And Tony Blackwell says, and to everyone else, good to see you all and look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. James Dunlop says, Warren, my mate just texted me saying Arteta in for the Everton job. Oh, my God. Oh, please. But I wouldn't wish that on you, mate. Honestly, I wouldn't. He definitely put the death nail. He put the final nail in the coffin, mate, I'm sure. James Dunlop says, cheers, Warren, Tony, and everyone. Take care. See you all soon. Tony Blackwell says, imagine that, James, but can't see him leaving Arsenal. Small miracles and all that. Yeah, oh, mate. I can't see him leaving either, Tony. Jesus God. We're bloody stuck with him, aren't we? Anyway, guys, thanks very much. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't done it already, please put a like on the video before you leave. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And please don't forget to share it around with as many different people as you can. That would be absolutely fantastic if you could do that for me. And yeah. What's this? No, that's not what I thought it was. Yeah, so like I say, thanks very much for watching. And please take care of yourselves, look after each other, and stay safe, and spread some love and kindness around the world. And I look forward to seeing you all again really soon. And thanks very much for watching. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye for now.